Hello, viewers. My name is Olori Giwa. I have here with me Dr. Adewale Adesanya. Why does the blood smell or have an odor? I mean, when I mean blood, I mean in menstrual blood.
Okay. There is a lot to talk about menstrual hygiene, notwithstanding. Menstrual flow has a unique smell, which can be metallic because blood contains what? Iron. Remember, we give
Yes,
people iron,
iron.
iron tablets to use so that they can build their blood. So it can have metallic smell. However, there are various factors that can make your period smell,
Have an offensive smell.
offensive smell. And what you can use to curb that mostly is to keep a very good hygiene.
Right.
Hygiene, which involve making use of menstrual products, be it pads, tampons, menstrual cup, menstrual panties, and the likes. Now, you must also pay attention to something. You don't assume that, oh, because my pad is not really soaked, you will now use one pad for
For a day.
24 hours. So it's good to change your pads or tampon, as the case may be, between 4 to maybe
5 hours.
8 hours.
What's
Just
okay?
4 to 8 hours. Just change, even if it's just slightly soaked, change and get a fresh one. Then also always make sure you wash your hand. We have done a lot of videos on that. Wash your hand before handling the product and after handling the product. So good hygiene will help to prevent this. Now, also note that blood is a good culture medium for infection.
Hmm.
Yes. And anywhere blood stays, where it's not actually serving its
I hope we're
purpose,
paying attention to this. Getting
is a
interested.
good culture medium. And
Hmm.
I don't know if I should say this, but it's the fact. The vagina is also a place that harbors some organism. And it's a very good thing for them to actually harbor some organism for the cleanliness of that area. So when you now bring culture medium that allows growth of various other organisms, including the one that are not supposed to be there, then infection sets in, then odors becomes offensive, becomes everything looks abnormal. So then hormonal changes in your system also encourages that place to have some. Then don't forget also individuals. We have very unique. Some people will have some strong odor. Some will have some mild odor. No matter how some people sweat, you don't perceive any odor. While some people without sweat, you
have the
perceive.
body odor.
So individualization.
So more like our personal hygiene should be intensified, especially during our menstrual cycle, our menstrual month.
Absolutely.
So let's endeavor to increase our personal hygiene during our menstrual monthly cycles. I think that can help also with the smell and all of that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let me take one or two more questions before we begin to round up. How does contraceptives affect the menstrual cycle?
I mean, like I said earlier on, menstrual cycle is how the womb and your body respond to the hormonal milieu in your body, the hormonal changes in your body. If you are talking of hormonal, which I believe is what you're talking about, hormonal contraceptives.
Okay, so let's clear that. So when this particular question is talking about contraceptives, I mean after sex pills.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
After sex pills.
So you are talking
how does
about
it affect
emergency contraceptives?
Emergency contraceptives.
Okay,
how does it affect menstrual cycle? Because I know a lot of people complain that once they take these after sex pills, for instance, if they see their period the first week of this month, the first week of the month, and they have this and they take the after sex pills maybe the second week of the month, so there's every likelihood that they are likely to see their menstrual period or menstrual cycle again before the end of that month. How true is this, sir?
So this is the thing. So I must state that we should be aware that some of these pills are built based on the knowledge of the levels of the hormonal interplay in our body that controls our ovulation and that leads to pregnancy. So the idea to now stop that process is to interfere with that hormone. Now, if or with those hormones, as the case may be. So if you are taking hormone that is coming to interfere with your normal hormonal milieu, it must be properly timed. This is where the knowledge of your system, your body, your menstrual cycle, and your menstrual flow comes in. Even some of these contraceptives, if you don't understand your menstrual cycles very well, if you are using a hormonal pill, you might fall into some, which accounts for most of the poor results some people get when they are using.
So what you're trying to say is, can the after sex pills actually affect the menstrual cycle?
It will definitely. That's
Right.
why it stops the pregnancy process.
Right.
It will definitely affect it.
So if you take it like 3 times in a month, you probably see your period 3 times a month.
Not necessarily, but it will definitely distort
It
your
will alter.
cycle.
It will alter the cycle.
It's not the same for everybody, but it will alter your cycle.
You talked about ovulation.
Okay.
While we're talking about how to calculate the menstrual cycle.
Yeah.
That's to 35 days monthly.
22 to 35.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I know you mentioned ovulation. Also, you also mentioned how to calculate the ovulation. That's the 14th. We're talking about the 14 days stuff. Okay. So now this brings me to this particular term, ovulation. What is ovulation? How do we calculate our ovulation? Because personally, I don't even know how to. I mean, I shouldn't be saying this on camera. I don't know how to. I mean, I just do my eat and miss thing. So, how do we calculate our ovulation?
So, ovulation simply means release of your ova from the egg, and it's also, like I said earlier on, that is the way your body system prepares your ovary to release that egg. So now there is a time it comes out. Ovulation occurs 14 days before your period. Get it right. Ovulation occurs before 14 days before your period. So it is 14 days from your cycle because you are 28 days. If you note, 28 minus 14 will give you 14. So that is, I mentioned earlier, that is the confusion about 14, 14, 14. So if I gave a range of 22 to 35, you should know that a person who is 22 days cycle person will not ovulate on the 14th day of the cycle. So you say 22 minus 14. That person is likely to ovulate around 6-7 days from the first day of the period. Same goes to a person who is 30. So if you want to know your ovulation day, we're going to get to the relevance of that though. Ovulation day, you should pay attention to understand the length of the cycle, subtract the constant 14 days from it. That's the likely day you're going to ovulate. Likely, probable. Now, since there is a range, it also varies across that range. So if you're a 30-day cycle person, 30 minus 14 will give you what? 16 days. 32 minus 14 will give you 18, as the case may be. So the ovulation day is not the same for everybody. So people going online to arbitrarily pick on 14 day and be using it to calculate. Sometimes you don't even get the information right from our doctors. You ask some people, how do you know ovulation? They say 14 days after my period. It's not after. Any day you are counting, you should start counting from the first day you see your period.
So that is a 14. Oh, I see.
You should start counting.
If I see my period today, so today has to be the first
day. So you start counting.
The 14th.
That is for a 28 cycle person.
Okay.
So if you are a 30 days person,
That's 16.
16. So you now start counting from
today
1
to 16.
to 16. That's the likely day. If you are a 32 person, 32 minus 14.
So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is plus minus 2 to 5 days. Space. Either you are 22 monthly cycle, either you are 30 monthly cycle. So it's safe to say after your period, Biko, after 5 days, don't do anything. After 5 days, continue doing something. You are safe because all this stuff.
So now I don't get it twisted. What you just said too.
It's just to make us to be safe now.
No.
Because a lot of us now, seriously speaking, a lot of us don't even know all of these things. It's like it's stressful. At my age, now let me face the camera. At my age, I still find it very difficult to calculate my ovulation. Like I said earlier, I just do my eat and miss because sometimes, again, because because as a woman, I want to quote you, we are not the same. We are unique in our own ways. If you understand what I mean. So
absolutely.
Again, as unique as we can be, sometimes it may be from the food we eat, from stress disorder, from whatever. Something along the line may change. We might even be I'm just saying. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying my own observation with my own body. So sometimes, again, that is why I will see my period today, or 3 days after, or 3 days before. It's not consistent like that. Even though for a stretch of 6 months, it may be consistent. But after that, so it may likely be maybe something I had, maybe a medication I took, maybe an antibiotics or something like so that's what I'm saying, that let's just do 2 to 3 days. Anything can happen in between.
That is a blanket statement you made that after your period, you can just say, wait for 5 days.
Don't do anything.
No. It doesn't work that way.
Okay.
Because if you are a 7 days person, in terms of length of, menstrual period.
Okay.
And your total length is 22.
Wow.
Which increases the chances of ovulating around maybe from 22 minus 14 will give you what? 22 minus 14 will give you 8.
That means it has to be after 8 days.
So if a person has a period of 7 days and the ovulation is the 8th day, so you should know that such a person, if you even I had to answer a question before. Is it possible to get pregnant during your period when you have sex? Yes, it's possible.
Wait a minute. Is it possible
expectedly supposed to be very low?
Can you ask that question again?
Can you have sex during period and still get pregnant?
Can you have sex during period
and still get pregnant? Yes.
That's big.
That's big. Are you supposed to have sex during period? Those are variations.
That's a different thing.
That's a different thing. So my point is.
But is it possible?
What is the question now?
Can you actually get pregnant? Can you actually get pregnant?
So the chances is extremely. The chances of getting pregnant when you have sex during period is expected to be very, very low. But we should note it's not impossible because of various reasons. One, the survivor of sperm or spermatozoa, as the case may be. Then that's number 2. The variation that we've been talking about since, which can bring ovulation earlier in some people.
Okay.
So if you have a sperm surviving for up to 4 days and your period is stopped, you think, okay, everything has come out, and the sperm is still there swimming and waiting for the ovary to come out, then you get pregnant. So the thing is, just understand your own system, do your calculation, know your ovulation period. Then that ovulation day, the ovulation day, you should note that there are days before ovulation days and few days after ovulation day. those are the days that you are not, or you are not safe if you are not looking for pregnancy. The best period when you are looking for pregnancy. Do you understand now? If you are not looking for pregnancy, why do all this calculation when you can actually do contraceptive?
Okay.
And just rest your mind
Okay.
and be safe.
Okay. I think Dr. Adesanya has been able to answer some, if not most, or all of our questions about menstruation. I know we still have some troubling questions in our on our minds, and I also still have some questions that I still need to ask you. But okay, so it's
Comment
okay.
section.
Yeah. So you can drop a question in the comment section on YouTube. That's the Hayes Evan on YouTube, Hayes Evan on TikTok, then Dr. Ade One on IG, Instagram.
Doc Adewan.
Doc Adewan.
DOC. Doc
Doc
Adewan.
Adewan. Doc has in DOCADEY 1 on IG. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Adesanya. But before we end this session, I'd like to give a summary, or just give us a takeaway in case we want to make our decisions or we want to practice some of the things that the doctor has said, had mentioned. When asking how long your period starts, it's easy for women to want a definite answer. Each woman is different. However, and she'll have her own normal and abnormal. Tracking your unique cycle each month will help you detect trends and patterns so you will notice any changes as soon as they happen. If you're experiencing any sudden changes in your period that you don't believe are stress related, especially alongside other new symptoms, you can always make an appointment and engage with a gynecologist or an obstetrician to double check. It is very, very important to always double check. Always important to reach out to a medical practitioner. Don't let us rely on our instincts. Thank you very much, Dr. Adesanya. This session was very insightful, very educative, and very interesting.
Thank you
so
for coming. Thank you for the beautiful questions. I can assure you there will be more to talk about menstruation. Let our viewers drop their comment in the comment section. Then we take it from there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching too.
Yeah.